and welcome to my new channel where we're going to kind of go into the things that it takes to be a white-collar housewife. So first, I have a very hard-working kitchen. This is not what you would call a minimalist kitchen. It is very hard-working and thus needs to be really, really efficient, and I think I figured out some really good ways to make it so, and I'd like to share these with you. So first I want to kind of give you an idea of how small my kitchen really is. So here I can touch both of them, almost both counters at the same time. And this direction's a little bit longer. I have a whole 2 steps before I get to you. So first off, I'd like to show you our baking area. This is probably the #1 thing that we've done to make life in our tiny kitchen a little bit better. As I said, we're foregoing the minimalist kitchen for one that can handle the work that we put into it. First of all, I have these lovely measuring cups. They're metal and they go on a magnetic piece of wood here, and so I can use them any old time very quickly. I also usually have my measuring spoons hanging right there. I keep only my recipe books that I actually use, and yes, I do use all 5 of these, and only the ingredients that are used most commonly in our baked goods. So, you know, vanilla, baking powder, oil, that sort of thing. Now this is supposed to be hung on the wall, but it is not because I took it down yesterday to work on it. But it is the recipes that we use most frequently, written out in kind of a really shorthand way, so that they're here all the time. So I can use my baking area, look over, see my recipes, get all of my secondary ingredients, things like chocolate chips, brown sugar, those kinds of things. I used to keep those down here, kind of in the back, but it did not work because the containers were so heavy that I couldn't lift them over all of the other things. So these are my bowls. I do use all of those, including 2 glass measuring cups. It does come in handy sometimes. So we don't use our cutting board as a cutting board. We have separate ones for that. We use it for extra counter space when we're working in this area. So I can put my stuff right there, work on some other things. Maybe I have a heavy lid. No problem right there. Another thing in this tiny kitchen that we do is we make use of all of the space. So right here is a little spot between my refrigerator and my cupboard. I use that to store my kitchen scale because it has to be lying flat. It can't be turned sideways or have anything else on it. So I would say that is a perfect little spot for it. Whether or not you choose to keep your KitchenAid or your coffee pot or something else on the counter is just personal preference. So I do keep mine right there. Of course, I can get my ingredients right here out of the fridge. And just because these things are really tough to keep track of, we just put it right here on the refrigerator. What we're going to have this week, what is on the grocery shopping list. We did grocery shopping today, so that's why there's nothing there. And what is currently in the freezer that I need to remember to use. So I have some breakfast sausage I did not know was back there till I cleaned up. Chicken cacciatore that we can make at any old time. We can just pull it out and put it over noodles. And French bread. We always have many loaves of French bread in the freezer at any given time. So over here is where I put our meals of the day. My daughters decided yesterday to make all green food and to treat mommy and daddy to that. So this is what they came up with. They have pesto and limeade and all kinds of funny things. But the other reason I use it is to remind myself to actually prepare that meal, and so that when my children say, "What's for dinner?" they can just look on the menu, and they really don't say what's for dinner anymore because they kind of have that figured out at this point. We recently redid our cabinets, and we found that this cabinet was very tall, and this was just a fake board. So what we did was we actually had a drawer installed to take up, oh, it's very messy in here. I let my daughters cook, as you can see. So we added an extra drawer just to make up a little bit of that extra space that we don't have. We do keep our toaster out on the countertop because my children eat toast constantly. And here is the little station where they have the things that they often put on their toast, as well as salt and pepper. Cutting boards because we don't use the one that's built in. This is a coffee station so that all the things that my husband needs, he so kindly puts it away nicely for me too. Everything that he needs is right there to make his coffee. And we keep all of our oils and vinegars and that kind of thing right here in the front. Very easy access while cooking. Over here, to make things even easier on us, we have put all of our knives on a similar magnetic block to the one that well, it's the same magnetic block that we have over there. We are able to display all of our knives. I think it looks cool, but more than that, they're easy to reach. Once they're up here, they're air drying, so they're not stuck in one of those little butcher blocks. And then also I always know which size I'm reaching for. I don't have, some of these handles look exactly the same when they're in a butcher block. So that has definitely been a helpful addition to our kitchen. Also, I keep all of our most frequently used pots and pans, as well as an extra KitchenAid bowl over there, all hung up. I also keep my strainer hung because we have pasta too often. Over here, all of our dishes, those are the ones that we use every single day. Teacups, maybe just a few of those a day, but anyway, we keep that all right there. I don't have a ton of decor in my kitchen, but I do like this. I made curtains out of some old family heirloom napkins, and so now I can see those all embroidered every day. I like that. That was just a little thing. And on our counter, we always have some fruit. We keep our soap here, but this is actually not hand soap, it's dish soap, and that's what we use to wash dishes, so I figure that's what should be here. Keep our sponge out because I don't like having it in places where it can't dry all the way. And then this lovely container is for our compost. We do live in Oregon, so we're pretty into composting over here. My pans and pots and such that don't hang go down here. We run our dishwasher twice a day at this point because we are in quarantine and the kids are here all the time. This is a pop out. I think this is the best thing I did when I redid the cabinets was to add, I'm giving you a lovely picture of my garbage, a container for recycling and for trash. So after the baking area, we have the cooking area, and now we have the preparation area. What I call the preparation area consists of this bar that can be accessed from either side, as well as all of our dishes. And then if you go under said bar, you will find things like saran wrap, plastic bags, a ginormous stack of plastic plates. Not because that's what we insist on using, but because my children have made them and they love to use them. So we also have our plasticware, storage containers there, and we have two separate boxes, one for bread and one for other bread stuffs. We also have our napkins and our dish towels and our cleaning rags all under here. Not my favorite idea to keep all of this under here, but that is the space that we have. One thing you will notice about our kitchen is that we don't have a ton of food in here, and that's because we have a separate pantry, pseudo pantry, in the garage, and that is where we keep most of the things that we would prepare, except for bread and stuff because the kids like toast. And of course, so that nobody wonders about my hidden secrets, this is the inside of one of the cabinets. This is where I keep my glassware with the lids and everything, and people get so worked up about how they keep their lids with their glass or their plasticware. It's not necessary. Have one thing of lids and they're always in there. Don't stress. Don't make that a big deal. The thing about my house is it was built in 1959, so we have very small appliances, both our oven and our refrigerator. This lovely cabinet has cookie sheets and some other kinds of cooling racks and things that we use when baking. And our flatware drawer is only flatware and servingware. But we try to keep this very separate from everything else for ease of setting the table. This is where I have a lot of other things, and it's kind of equidistant from the baking area and over here the cooking area. So I don't mind keeping this all together. It's things like can openers, as you can see, the pie serving thing. And I actually use my pie server, so don't give me grief about that. So all of these things. Next down, we keep our bowls and glasses, or bowls and mugs. And these, if you wonder what these are, I use these they're those bracelets, you know, those like Livestrong bracelets. I use them on the bottoms of my glasses to differentiate who is using what. So then we only have to decide what cause we're promoting that day, and it's right on our glasses. So these are all of our spices and herbs.
keep herbs over here and spices over here as far as the most commonly used, and then the rest go this way. I once had a friend who saw these. She said to me, I could never do that because I would insist that all of the labels look exactly the same and that they're typed and all that kind of stuff. And that is when I learned that you can't let perfectionism get in the way of being perfect. So if you want to have all of your things labeled, just do it and don't wait until you can like make them all on a computer or something, because waiting does not get anything done. That's not efficient. So I guess I only have a couple more things. In the spirit of using everything that all the space that you have in such a kitchen, I have a little basket of like treats and stuff up here. And the one thing that everybody is going to talk about and comment about, and I don't really want to hear it, is this. We actually keep our medication right above the stove, and everyone's going to say that is not good for it, but it's the space we have. I keep all of our medications very organized by ailment, because that's how my family seems to understand. Also, we have oversized items and extras, unopened, pain reliever and stuff. We keep our pain relievers right there. Pull them out, very lovely, very easy to access. Again, labeled. I think labels are the #1 tool for organization. Even if you don't have bins or anything, have labels. So those are our prescription drugs. Over here, I keep our thermometer. I keep our thermometer Velcroed, sort of. These are the command strips, the new ones that are for hanging pictures, but I find them very useful for hanging my thermometer. So when you're done with it, just put it right back on. Push it in, you're good. And it's not really Velcro, it's a different kind of thing, and it's very cool. So, also in the front, I don't really want you to see all the info, but I keep a list of all of. That's an informational sheet that we keep in here because I have to go to the hospital a lot for a condition that I have, and paramedics love it when you have all of your drugs written out, how much you weigh in kilograms. They love that kind of stuff. So I definitely make sure that they have it as easy as possible when they're trying to save my life. So here is a tour of the kitchen one more time so you can kind of get it all in context. Preparation area. Our pots and pans, sink, menu board, information. This is something that's funny. I don't keep my children's artwork on my refrigerator. All my friends tease me, but I keep it in another area displayed, and this is just business in here. Plus, I don't want to get flecks of grease and stuff on their things. That's not nice. I do have all this extra wall space right here, and I'm not quite sure what to do with it. I need to leverage it somehow, and I'm not sure what to do. So if you have any ideas about that, let me know. So I hope you enjoyed this tour of my not minimalist, very tiny, hardworking kitchen.